So what is up, guys? So welcome back to another video, and I get it's been a little bit, kind of been doing a lot lately, working, celebrating my birthday, but also doing school. But you read the title, iPhone 17 Pro Review, and that's right, guys. I got my hands on an iPhone 17 Pro for my birthday. Thanks, mom and dad. But the phone, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I definitely think that the iPhone 17 Pro was right for me. Not really just because the Air was a bad phone, but I definitely think longevity-wise, the 17 Pro is definitely it, and it's definitely right for a lot of users. Now, there are a couple of things that I'm just like, they could have done away with on the phone, but there are also a lot of things that I'm just super grateful for and super happy about. Now, y'all are watching this review like, oh, I just came from the 16 Pro or something crazy like that. No, I actually came from the iPhone 13, and the iPhone 13 was getting me through, a great day. It was still a great phone. I was getting about 89% maximum capacity from having it for about 3 years because I bought it when the 14 launched. And the 17 Pro is definitely a bigger upgrade from that, getting the three cameras. But it's definitely, there are some things about it that I'm just like, it's a little different. So I'll just go over some of the things I like and some of the things that I'm just like, maybe, probably not for me. First of all, the display. I love the always on display. That's probably my favorite feature, and the 3000 nit peak brightness is amazing. I never really had an issue with my iPhone 13 and, it being too bright outside for me not to be able to see the screen, but I definitely like the extra 3000 nits of peak brightness as well as the anti-reflective coating. I also enjoy the 1 to 120 hertz ProMotion display. I think that's a super neat feature, and I definitely think that it has saved me a lot of time with battery life. Connectivity. I will say that the 5G modem in the iPhone 17 Pro is a lot faster than the modem in the 13. Really, just because Apple was technically on their second generation of a phone with 5G. And so the 5G on this phone, I've been able to hit some pretty awesome numbers in my city. Now, I don't really live in a city where 5G is compatible in a lot of areas, but I do live in a city where 5G is a thing, and 5G plus especially is a big thing to a lot of people, and it's really important. So I definitely have noticed connectivity and airdropping has been a little bit faster. I bet airdrop is a lot faster on the C1X modem in the iPhone Air, which doesn't surprise me at all because it's Apple's own in-house modem, and it's more power efficient and less user hungry, or power hungry, I should say. Also say that the cameras. So I was doing a little bit of testing with the cameras, okay? I got a couple of things to say that are good and a couple of things that are just First of all, I love the 48 megapixel sensors all around for the main, the ultra wide, and the telephoto. I definitely think that 40x max digital zoom is maybe a little bit too much for the phone. As I, zoom in to 40x, pictures look maybe not as sharp as I would like them, but also pictures or videos, I should say, are a little sluggish and laggy whenever I'm moving the phone around. Now, obviously, I do expect that to be the case for 40x zoom, but I definitely think that it's something that Apple should consider in the future and should work on for future products. I did get to test out the cameras themselves, though, especially that FaceTime front-facing camera, which let me just say, the square sensor in the iPhone 17 Pro is a genius idea, and I definitely see a lot of people using that in the future and a lot of other tech companies using that in the future. Another feature that I haven't really gotten to try out a ton, but I definitely thought was cool was dual capture, which you'll be seeing footage of me doing that right now. Dual capture was super cool, and I definitely thought that it was something cool, to capture in the moment, but also to capture what was around you. Um, and it kind of works like a FaceTime camera where you can move the capturing around to different areas of the screen. That way it's not stuck in one area. So I definitely thought that was cool. But the square sensor that Apple has put for the front facing camera is amazing. The fact that it's able to crop people out, but also enlarge the photo to a square and an 18 by 18 aspect ratio, that's awesome, especially for Apple being the first to do it. There were a couple of complaints for, I will say, the cameras at night. I was noticing a little bit of like blooming or, over sharpening in some areas. Like it looked like the phone was trying to, I guess I was taking a picture of a light and there was just like this annoying glare that was to the right of the photo. I definitely think that Apple might be able to tweak this in some software, but I also know that it has been a complaint for iPhone cameras for a long time. The battery life. I've enjoyed the battery life enough for it to work for me. I've been able to get through, at least this week, using adaptive power, been able to get through the day with about 40% left. Now, I'm not the kind of guy that gets to use his phone every day, so it's not like it's a big problem for me. And I'm also using Apple's optimized charging limit, which is something that I didn't have on the 13, which I think is super neat to do. And so we're doing 85% right now. And so maybe by next year, we'll have a little bit of a lesser number whenever we keep charging it every night, because batteries aren't really great to, be overcharged or charged too much. And so I've been able to set that cap to 85%, which I really like that feature. That's super cool. And it's actually probably my favorite feature that I've been able to notice. I've said all the good things. Great phone. I love the battery life. The vapor chamber is awesome. I don't really play games on my phone that much, but the phone actually being able to cool itself down is pretty neat, especially when I played like a match of Fortnite and then immediately deleted it because I suck at that game. But I definitely thought that the phone was actually doing super well whenever I was playing Fortnite, and it was able to run everything at a smooth frame rate and without dropping frames or getting too hot. Some of the things I just don't like. I don't like the dynamic island. I never have. I think that it is just a waste. I prefer the notch, and I get some people are like, why do you prefer the notch? And I get the name Dynamic Island means like it's dynamic, it's supposed to do stuff, and I get that, but I just don't like it. The Dynamic Island, I think, is just a big mistake. I don't think Apple should have released it. Um, the reason why I don't like it is just because it gets larger every time I add more background actions, like I'm playing music, but also I'm using live translation or something like that. The island just gets larger and larger and just keeps growing. And it even, I've really just noticed it being annoying whenever I have live play-by-plays going and it's showing it in the dynamic island, but then I'm also listening to music, and so it's showing another little dot in the dynamic island. I think that's just maybe a little annoying, but that's probably on my part. Not a lot of people like it, but then a lot of people do like it. So I get that. It's just not a feature for me. I don't enjoy it. It's not the best. So it's definitely the dynamic island, and it's also just Apple Intelligence. Um, I've heard the reports of Apple, partnering with Google Gemini to bring Apple Intelligence, to an actual intelligent realm. But Apple Intelligence sucks. I ask Siri to do commands and do different things for me, and all it's able to prompt me with is, "Would you like to ask ChatGPT?" And I'm just like, "Okay, buddy, like, what are we doing?" So I definitely think that Apple Intelligence is a no-brainer right now, and I think that maybe one day it'll be a great option for users, but right now um, I love the "It's Glow Time" animation. You know how the iPhone does the little glow? I think that's so cool. I also love visual intelligence. That's one of the main features I've actually been able to use out of the iPhone is visual intelligence. It works pretty well. I've been able to take pictures of books and different objects, and it's been able to find me the objects on Google or eBay, to resell. So I definitely thought that visual intelligence is super cool. If I gotta say two complaints about the new phone, and I get the dynamic island has been a thing for a long time, but it's still the dynamic island for me, and it's also just Apple Intelligence. Everything else in the phone works great. I will say camera control has been a little annoying. And I really think it's just because when you put a case on the camera control button, it it doesn't really slide or glide as smoothly as you would probably like it to. Now, I think that the button is super neat. You know, it has cool gestures. You're able to adjust aspect ratios and different features like that quickly. But I definitely think that it gets annoying sometimes if you just accidentally press it or something like that. Maybe I just have fat fingers. But the 6.3-inch display is definitely a huge upgrade from the 6.1-inch display I had. But anyways, I'm sorry about the no posting for a little bit, guys. And if you guys enjoyed this, short review, had the phone only for a week, so maybe we'll go into more of a month review later. But I promise you guys haven't forgot about you. We're gonna get more content out soon, and I hope you guys have a great day. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button down below, and let me know what you guys think about the new 17s, or if you have a 17, and what's your favorite feature. I know mine isn't the dynamic island, but that might be for you. So that's cool. But till the next one, I'll see you guys around. So yeah, peace out.